Yo, day 78 coming at ya. 100 Days Making Comics with me, Gazbot, talking about my independent comic, a kaiju variety, that is, the horror. That's terrible. The horror A4. Okay, it's a little after 12, I've eaten breakfast, I've sat and watched TV, I've done some dishes and caught up on some emails. I'm gonna jump right into some artwork earlier in the day. Today, right now, I'm gonna do a commission. I'm doing a commission! Well, it's 2 o'clock. I wish I'd looked at the time more closely when I started. I said it's around 12 or whatever, but I didn't look super close so that I have an idea how long I'm spending on this commission, which I can tell you is too long. Because basically, it's an inkhead sketch with a little bit extra because it's booster gold and they wanted skeets. And so I said, okay, give me a few more bucks for skeets. This is normally the sort of thing I do at a convention, you know, pencil and ink, whatever. But since I'm home, I decided to do it on the computer, at least first. And so I've spent at least an hour, between an hour and 2 hours, let's say, just getting the quote-unquote rough done. Which you can see here. And I kept reworking it, and I am a fool spending too much time on this. Why? It's a traditional commission. I need to give it to them on a piece of paper, Bristol, as it were. So that I could print it out, and then we come on over here, and what do we see? Well, it's the light box. Look, you can see the ROM that's on there from the last one I did. So I'm going to be putting it on there. Slap a piece of Bristol. This is 9 by 12 that I will be, well, this is 8.5 by 11, but I'll be going onto 9 by 12. Whenever someone commissions me and I end up doing it at home, they almost inevitably get a better product because I have more time to spend on it, I have more time to obsess over it. It's kind of bad for me, but good for them because it's the same cost, but they get a better product. Theoretically. Maybe there is no difference, just a difference in my mind. I certainly spent more time on it. But the other thing is, this particular person, I had a Blue Beetle that I had just done, I think during Inktober or something, and thrown it up in my Etsy store, and they bought it, and that was great. Then they commissioned me to do another piece. Anyway, so I'm going to do this. But the fact that this is the third thing they've hired me for, I wanted to match the quality of the others and do a good job. It's going to be a little set. But it's funny because probably the easiest one to do was the first one, the Beetle, because it was done and I just did it how I wanted and it was whatever. Whereas now I'm stressing and worrying, like, will this be what they like? You know, and I'm probably going to use some more Copic gray as I did on the last one, whereas the first Beetle just had a little bit of gray from the back of a brush, Japanese brush pen. Yeah. Do this. No, I get on the time. This is German, I believe. I don't know what they're saying, but it's a good not knowing. Alright, it's been about... That's too loud. Not too loud for rocking out with art, but it's too loud for you being able to hear me. It's been about 40 minutes, and I've gotten the inks done. I'm going to go in with some gray Copics in a minute, but I'll show you what 40 minutes does. So this is 40 minutes just inks. Obviously, I had the rough done under here. I barely even see it. I followed pretty tight, but you can see an example there where I didn't follow. And I use a French curve for these babies. Old school. So now, yeah, I'll go in with the Copic, and hopefully that won't take me more than 20 minutes, which will mean this whole thing will have taken me between 2 and 3 hours, which is way too long. Okay, so grayscale done, and it was just 10 or 15 minutes. Bingo! Or booster! Or golden! Or skeets! Yeah, alright. I got the commission, the booster commission, all packed up and ready to go, paid for, and I was going to drop it off at the post office, which it's about 4, so if I drop it off now, it's not going out till tomorrow, whether it's now or an hour and a half from now, it doesn't matter. And I also wanted to go for a walk, but instead I'm going to do my 30 minutes now because Q just said she wanted to go out tonight, so I'll get this done, and then if I have time to go for a walk and all that, great, but if not, this will be done, and that will be the optional, the alternative, the possible extra thing, as opposed to having to cram this in later. So yes, 30 minutes on the Horror A4, beginning. And I have moved time aside so that now you're here at the end when I have done my time work. Once again, between 30 and an hour, I hit the 30, kept going until I finished this panel. I will show you this panel. Working once again on page 12, panel 1, 2, 3, and 4 is what we were doing today. It shouldn't have taken as long as it did because it is just 2 figures. I didn't have to worry about the background too much or whatever, but I wanted to get the poses right where he's sort of, he was consoling her and then he's like, whoa, hey, oh, hey, Angela, and you know, so there you go. Yeah, so that is my work today, at least up to this point. That is fulfilling my obligation. Whether or not I do more, I do not know, but 100-day commitment done. Yes! Look at me, outside now, cleaned up nice. I shaved, I trimmed my fingernails, and took a shower. That makes me a human again. We're going out to eat. I don't know what else we're doing. I'm gonna be dropping this off at the post office. This is the commission that I've been blathering on about all day. Oh look, there's my wife in the car now. In the distance, the brake lights flare, and I know that she is there. She waves. Oh yeah. Check out those sweet, sweet tunes here at Black Bear Diner. I make fun, but I love this place. I love the thematic cheesiness of it, and I love the selection of food. Yes. Come on, boys! Dance with me! She my gal, ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo. Hey there, it's me, Gazbot, once again. This is what we call a reset. If we were on radio, which we're not. So, whatever. It's also a TV thing. Doesn't matter! It is about 10-something. I've eaten dinner and junk. And I was trying to think of what to do with my time, and I think I'm going to start working on the next commission. I have a commission, I got a caricature gig, a small corporate caricature gig, and also another sort of commission. I mean, it's a commission in terms of work I have to do, but I'm not going to be paid because I offered to help a friend with a Kickstarter. I've talked about her before, Anna, who owns Elusive Comics and Games, and one of the rewards was to get a sketch commission, ink commission from me, and that is now due. So I have those 3 things to do, and my sort of loose plan is to get those done so that next week I can really focus just on the horror. I've been catching up on work stuff and house stuff, and I got the standee already theoretically in the mail. The rough came, I approved it. I need to actually make new pins, which shouldn't take too long. That might bleed over into next week. If not, then I'll do it this week over the weekend or whatever. But my goal is to get these 3, the 2 commissions and the caricature gig, I keep saying gig, but gig is usually when I go out. The caricature, the corporate caricature, done by the end of this week, so that going into next week can be just the horror. And I want to really hammer in. Cool. Also, I wanted to mention, not speaking of the hundreds, but now speaking of the hundreds, we have another challenger. A new contestant has entered the fray. Hibiku Kaze, also known as Xavier Logan, has started the 100 days once again. Had previously attempted it and ended in less than success, let's say, but dragged himself up from the ashes. And like Rocky said, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep getting back up, or some paraphrase thereof. If you know me, by now you know that I constantly take good quotes and mangle them, but basically the point is, once you have failed and you get up and you try again, that's impressive, so let's all follow him. Now, I'll put a link below. He had a 0 day, which you could start on. Today is actually day 1 for him, but I recommend there was an update vlog in between his last one and this one, and I started there, and I recommend you do as well, because he gives a little bit more of a background history as to who he is and why maybe he didn't succeed the first time. So there's that. I'm going to go try to do some more work, and then I'll catch up with you after I see how much more work I've done. All right, well, I've been working on my Power Rangers sketch cover commission. It's taken a while. I kind of knew it would because, well, just so you know, I've been on it hour and a half, 2 hours-ish, probably 2 hours. I did a quick rough for the layout, and I'm doing similar to what I did with the ROM, where I'm sort of doing most of the artwork digitally, and then I'll transfer it to the cover, because like ROM, more so than ROM even, the mechanical nature of the helmets. If you're doing Superman or some, organic face and you get a line a little bit off, it's like, well, it's no big deal. Most people won't even notice. Oh, maybe the cheekbone's a little higher, a little lower, or the hair's out of place, and it's fine because there's artistic license and everything else. But with something that is set like ROM the Robot, or even more so a Power Ranger helmet, it's like drawing Mickey Mouse. I always say that, like, drawing Spider-Man or Superman is easier than drawing Mickey Mouse in some ways. I mean, yeah, you need to know more about anatomy and stuff, but Mickey Mouse, Bart Simpson, characters like that, if you have the wrong number of spikes on the head, it looks wrong. If the circle for the eye is slightly the wrong kind of circle, it looks wrong. Now, that's, if you're trying to do your own special stylized interpretation, that's fine, but if you want it to look like the character it's supposed to look like, it has to be so precise. The few lines you use have to all be exact. It's not quite as bad with the Power Rangers helmets, but it's very similar because they all have to look like a Power Ranger helmet, and each one is different and distinct because they represent, I'm talking about Mighty Morphin specifically, but it's true of all of them. They have to represent a specific dinosaur, and not my version of it, but the version that exists, and there's the visor and the mouth, and everything has to be exactly right from the different angles. And so kind of winging it or sort of figuring it out, like there'd be a lot of erasing. So while I'm not tracing or copying photos exactly, I'm using heavy reference because, you know, it needs to look right. And even if you're not a gigantic fan, even if you're just a casual fan, you're going to perceive it if it looks off. So I don't trust myself to do it in pencil. And that's fine. And this is a more elaborate and therefore more costly commission, so I don't mind putting the extra time in. But I got two, I did the rough, and I got 2 Rangers penciled. There's 6 total, so I gotta do 4 more, which is what I'm gonna be working on tomorrow. If I could finish the roughs and get it transferred tomorrow to the cover, that'd be fantastic. That would be, by the end of the day, have this done and ready to mail out on Friday. That'd be great. I don't know if I'll get there, because I also want to set up some pins. Whatever, let me show you what I got so I can be done with video time. So like with ROM, I imported the cover so it'd be the exact dimensions and have the logo to work with and stuff. And as you can see, I have the 6 Rangers. This is the 5 from the main original team, and then the Green Ranger up front. So then I took that, well, actually I put some color in just to make sure it would work that way because it's going to be a color commission. So I took that and brought it down to 25%. Then I put the Green Ranger pencils in. So there's probably a little bit more shading here than I'll do in the final. Maybe not, I don't know, but because he's in front. And then I did pink next over here, and you can see I changed her angle a little bit. Probably do less shading on her because she's lighter colors and not as much in front, but then I still have 4 more to go. So this was about 2 hours, but again, this part specifically was maybe an hour. So let's say they're 45 minutes each-ish, half hour to 45 minutes. Let's say 45 minutes, worst case scenario. That's an hour and a half for those 2, 3 hours. So 3 hours to do all 4 of those, and then I could see, based on other transfers I've done, like the booster I did, if it's figure 2 hours to ink it, and then another hour to color it, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. That's a lot. I'd like to do it in less time than that, but I could get it done tomorrow. If I don't have anything else come up, I could put in 6 hours and have this done tomorrow, which is my goal. It's long. I mean, part of it is each time I draw these helmets, it gets a little quicker, and I do seem to be getting a lot of these commissions. And who knows, maybe I'll take this basic sketch and then turn it into a print or something to make the time investment more worth it. But that's where I'm at right now, and it is after 1 a.m., and I gotta feed the cats. I should have fed them a while ago. I didn't realize how late it was. And you can hear I still have a slightly sore throat, but onward and outward and upward, I don't know. I'm gonna end it today. Oh man, it's today's day 78. Day 78. And if today is day 78, well then you know what that means.
We've got 22 Deadpool days left.
This is my wife's Deadpool shrine. Okay, had a little crisis of proprietary writing, I don't know, whatever.